The right person will come into your life at the divine time. 4 rules. Time is heavenly relative. Those who can believe that we are all part of a divine plan have immeasurable advantages on their side in life. The idea of being actively involved in something as important as creation and the world picture may rightly fill us with pride and joy. Moreover, this view of life is also an eminently practical one. Everything happens as it is meant to happen. We can, of course, pursue our own plans and set ourselves lofty goals. In the end, we will only succeed in what Divine Providence has also planned for us. The ultimate highlight that each and every one of us impatiently waits for throughout our lives is meeting the person we are destined to meet. Soul love, twin flame, kindred soul, or love of our life. She or he has many names, but only one shape. It can take time until she finally reveals herself. We would like to introduce you to 4 universal rules that play a very important role in this process. Rule number 1. Everything flows. No matter which area of our life or of the cosmos we look at, the only thing we can rely on 100% is change. If there is a common thread in our world, it is the constant of change. In good times, this is bad news because it will not last. In bad times, it is the lifeline that pulls us out of the shallows of grief and despair. Because, after all, everything passes. While we go about our daily lives hoping more or less fervently for the great love, a great deal is happening around us. We can actively influence or control very little of it. If we manage to accept things as they are, instead of permanently bending them by force to the way we want them to be, they will soon develop in our favor. Letting go of certain ideas and relinquishing control to the higher powers is the first important step towards becoming our soul man. Rule number 2. Timing is everything. Being in the right place at the right time has brought many couples together. What we then call coincidence is nothing more than a wonderful example of how the divine order works. We can tell that we are on the right time track by the ease with which everything works out for us. When we have a real run in all areas, we are perfectly timed and on schedule, though not ours. It is sometimes essential to put conversations or plans out of our mind when our feelings clearly signal to us that it is not the right time. Usually, there are 2 souls fighting in our chest, one that wants to get the topic over with right away, and another that realizes, as we are about to speak, that this endeavor is doomed to failure. Breaking things over the knee is one of the cardinal mistakes we can make in dealing with the divine plan. The best resolution and the perfect preparation are of no use if the timing is wrong. Rule number 3. Coercion and pressure are counterproductive. If we should glean anything from divine rule number 1, everything flows, it is that we cannot redirect or stop the flow of things. Of course, according to our human nature, we will always try to put our stamp on the course of life. None of it will work. The divine plan is flawless and faultless. We may imagine a certain room for maneuver in it, but the rules are not negotiable. However, since we have been given not only a fixed place in the universal seating order by fate, but also our strong free will, there may be occasional overlaps. We get to know a person and think, she or he is our life person. From this moment on, we set all levers in motion so that this love can get started. We make use of all the possibilities that modern life offers to get in touch and initiate more or less chance encounters. We may even manage to enter into a relationship with these objects of our desire, but the price will be high. We will have to overcome one hurdle after the next. Misunderstandings and arguments will be the order of the day. Constantly complicated situations will arise that have nothing whatsoever to do with that vibrant lightness we may expect from a freshly blossomed love. This is what happens when we try to interfere with the divine plan by force. Many such forced relationships cost us a lot of strength, energy, and above all, valuable lifetime, which we do not have in abundance. Rule number 4. Impatience points to unresolved issues. The question of when drives many perpetual singles and lonely hearts into sheer madness. How ready do we have to be to finally embrace the person of our lives? In fact, the right time for love is not only a time factor. Open construction sites in our lives, of which we may not even be aware, play a major role. These include, for example, fear of social stigmatization. Singles are second-class people. Despair and fear of not finding a partner. Shadow work and our inner child that needs attention. Fear of commitment, or the opposite, fear of being abandoned. Desire for a relationship as a lifeline, financially, socially, emotionally, or psychologically. Such and other deficits will always keep us away from love. We are not ready for it, but we are desperate and helpless. But it gets worse. We do not accept our life people with open arms and a light heart, but full of ulterior motives and a rather considerable to-do list, which they are supposed to work off for us. But mainly, they are supposed to serve us the solution for our problems on a silver platter, and the salvation from the vale of tears of loneliness at the same time. Therefore, until you have your emotional and psychological affairs perfectly in order, you are not an ideal partner for anyone. If, on the other hand, one day you can look in the mirror and honestly claim to be able to go on with your life without your better half, the phase of impatience will be over. The phase of meeting can begin, and the divine plan can be fulfilled. Follow the river, brave the storm. Pliable as a willow, we should be able to follow the tides of the divine plan in the best possible way. Life sometimes makes us brave storms, which, if we are well rooted, we will weather in the best possible way. The ability to adapt to circumstances that we cannot change is a quality that we should acquire as early as possible. There is no shame in going with the flow, but it most testifies to trustingly placing oneself in the hands of fate by allowing oneself to drift. Resistance is futile. Nature does not make mistakes, neither does God nor the universe. Waiting for the right person comes to an end when we are ready for it in the eyes of the higher powers. As we know, their thoughts are not our thoughts, and their ways are not our ways.